Oh, the seismic bombs. Oh, those sounds are so good. Oh, Boba looks so sick. His armor is refurbished. So good. Oh, what a group of badasses. I didn't see Grief, though. What's the episode called? The Believer. Interesting. The Believer. Planet looks pretty dope. I can't get over Boba's armor. Boba's armor is refurbished and dope. Is Din gonna go in with his helmet off? I was really hoping that he was gonna show his face. Be some real character growth right there. Mayfeld is such an ass. Oh, I love it. I feel like the whole episode's going to be this, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Oh, he's not used to non-Beskar. Well, I don't think Gideon's showing up in this episode. Oh, here comes Boba Fett or something. Oh, TIE fighters. Oh, that was sick. Oh, I bet at the Imperial base they're going to ask him to remove his helmet or something like that. Calling it now. They seem to be real happy that they got the Rhydonium back, so that's... They have to be using that for something. Because there's like cheers and stuff. So maybe it's just their boys surviving the pirates? Or it's that they got the Rhydonium and... yeah, they're cheering. It's like Luke and Han when they got back from blowing up the first Death Star. He took it off. He took his helmet off. Who's a big boy? Bring up Operation Cinder. Mayfield left because of Cinder. Burning Khan. What is that? Mayfield's gonna crack right here. He's gonna just kill him. Oh, there it is. I think Din's getting some respect for Mayfeld. So Mayfeld was there for Cinder. That's kind of awesome. Boba Fett's armor looks so good now. I love it. I love it. I think I like the distressed version more just because it looks used and looks badass. Well, they got the location. Kara's got a little respect for him now. Could tell just by that little, huh. This is our first time seeing the inside of the Slave One, really. I mean, we got the cockpit with Jango and Boba when they're getting chased down and chasing. Oh, the seismic bombs. Oh, those sounds are so good. So good. But, I got interrupted. But when Jango and Boba were being chased by Obi-Wan in episode 2. Mayfeld's not joining the crew. But he could be out there still. Ooh, we're back up to Gideon. I love it. That was a good episode. That end when Din was saying to Gideon what Gideon said to them at the end of season 1. That was really good. That was really good. Next episode's gonna be crazy. Yeah. It was good. It was a good episode. But it wasn't quite as good as I hoped it would be, honestly. I thought they'd get Mayfeld out, and then they'd get straight to doing the business. But they got Mayfeld out. They went to that planet. I forgot the name of it. It was like started with an M. But they went there, and then the whole episode was them getting the data of where Gideon is at, and ended on with Din sending a message to Gideon of Din saying exactly what Gideon said to them at the end of the first season. I am so sorry. I had playback speed at 1.75 this whole time. Whoops. Yeah, that was a good episode. Not quite was what I was expecting or hoping for, unfortunately. But after the few episodes, it's kind of hard to live up to those expectations. Mayfield was great. Bill Burr was great in this. The comedic relief he added was really nice. And I think these are the best couple, like, I'm going to say 3 things happen. 1, it was Din's message to Gideon at the end. That was great. 2, it was finding out about Mayfeld and Cinder. He was a part of Operation Cinder. Seemingly not a willing participant. So that's really interesting. And then 3 is Din taking off his helmet. That's big. Not just because Mayfeld saw his face, but because he kind of knows what he's willing to take off his helmet for. Right. And Baby Yoda is definitely that. I honestly thought he was going to be taking off his helmet to be with Mayfeld at the very beginning, but he waited to the end. The episode was good. The episode was really good. Not the best of the season, but definitely not the worst. But yeah, the sound of Slave One is still great. And we actually got to see the inside of Slave One, which like I said during the episode, the only thing we've seen is the cockpit during episode 2. I mean, that's all I can think of, at least. So that was really cool to see, and I'm glad they were able to just get Mayfeld right away and didn't really waste any time with that, because then the episode was the whole operation. But Kara's character growth was interesting. Seeing her go from like just hating Bill Burr to kind of respecting him for what he did to the base as they left, just destroying it. But yeah, well, that was a good episode. I don't really know what else there's to talk about because it's kind of like a straightforward mission. There's, other than talking about Operation Cinder and Burning Khan, I'm curious what Burning Khan even is. Burning Khan, was it Khan? Oh, Burning Khan. Oh, it's a planet. Oh, I thought it was like Burning Khan, which was like a group of soldiers or a squad or something like that. Burning Khan was a planet in the Anahuac sector that served as a mining colony for chromium and other ores. Okay. I wonder if it was it in any books or anything like that? Appeared in the mobile game, in Legends. So it looks like this is the first actual appearance of this in the new canon, which is interesting because I don't really, after just kind of like skimming through, it doesn't look to be anything big, and plus it sounds like they destroyed it anyway. So maybe it was just like a throwaway line for a planet that got destroyed, because obviously they're not going to mention a big planet, because then that planet would be gone for the rest of the whole canon. Unless they went back in time, of course, and did something previously. But, okay. Alright. But yeah, seeing Din's, like, even Din's reaction to Mayfeld's story, like, and with the music, you kind of knew it was ramping up to be him shooting that officer. That's cool that they just mentioned Cinder, though. Cinder is a very interesting concept that was taken from the Battlefront 2 campaign, if you don't know. So Operation Cinder, if I remember correctly, was basically the Empire killing off and saving only what they need of the old Empire. So burning it, basically. And when you play through the new Battlefront 2, obviously, that's what you play through. You play through the end of the Empire and throughout Cinder, and then the Rebellion / New Republic, whatever. But yeah, I guess let's rank it, right? Better than Chapter 10. Yes, I would most definitely say so. Better than Chapter 12, The Siege. I honestly don't think it is. I think Chapter 15, The Tragedy. The Tragedy. I was reading the chapter name. Sorry about that. Chapter 15, The Believer. Who is the believer in this? Are they talking about? Are they talking? They're not talking because Mayfield says he's a realist or whatever. So maybe Din, or maybe they're making maybe Kara like believing in Mayfeld or something like that. Not really sure. The believer. Maybe Din just believing in the fact that he'll get Grogu back. Or maybe the believer is the believer's actually probably the officer. The believer was probably the officer because he believed in Cinder. And then that actually might make the most sense, honestly. I bet it was the officer that they met like halfway through the episode and promptly killed. But I don't think Chapter 15, The Believer, is better than The Siege. Definitely better than The Passenger. So I'm going to say Chapter 15, The Believer, is, I think it's a solid 7. I'm going to say like a 7.7. I mean, let's be honest. That 0.1 isn't going to make a big difference in these rankings. 7.1. I think that's fairly fair. Honestly, after watching this, I kind of want to rank The Siege a little bit higher. But I think these are fairly decent rankings for how the episode's gone so far. I was honestly hoping this episode, The Believer, was going to be like top 3 with all the stuff we'd be getting. But the episode was it was a good episode. But following up the basically every episode since Chapter 10, so following the past 4 episodes, it's not as good. Because if we got that at the beginning of the season, like right after The Passenger or something like that, we'd be like, that was amazing. But also at the same time, it would have been like 2 kind of fluff episodes in a row. So then people probably wouldn't have liked it as much, I think. But it was good. It was a good episode. The end, when they went to Gideon's ship, I was hoping for more. I liked what they did, having Din send the message to Gideon, basically announcing that he knows where he's at, where Din knows where Gideon's at, and sending him the message that Gideon sent them at the beginning of the first season. That was really cool. So, if we are going about what happened in the first season and comparing it to the second. In the first season, Gideon showed up in episode 7, I believe. So the second to last episode of that season. So, is a new bad guy going to show up next episode? Is Thrawn going to show up? Is someone going to show up on Tython that Grogu called last episode? I don't know. But yeah, I think it was definitely a good episode. The Believer title is still kind of messing with me. I think they're probably talking about the officer that was talking about Cinder to Mayfeld, because that scene was an amazing scene. I love that scene. The whole thing from Din going in to taking off his helmet and like basically getting the balls to do that. That was really nice and really cool to see. But yeah, next episode. I don't even know. I want it to be like 2 hours long. Because I feel like even an hour won't feel like enough. Oh. Can't show my body. Even an hour won't be enough, honestly. Just because there's like so much going on. One thing I was kind of, I guess, disappointed to see was Grief not being there. But maybe he will be. And they only needed like those people for that mission to get Mayfeld or something like that. Or maybe Grief is just staying back because he's going to be kind of like I forgot what he said he was for the town, but he's kind of like the mayor, like the ambassador or something like that. So I'll probably be surprised if he does show up next episode. Super cool character though, but I doubt he's gonna risk his life for that. But, ooh, baby, that was really good. That was really good. Trying to think. I think that's all I got, honestly. That's all I got. Ooh, it's gonna be a pretty tight episode. I'm hoping it's over an hour long. It needs to at least be an hour to be able to capture everything that all the fans want to see, I feel like. Even with it at being an hour, I feel like they still need to like get right into it, because there's so much that can happen. And if they wait until the end, it might be a little predictable. But then again, I might be wrong. But yeah, that was a good episode. But I feel like the main reason it's not like so good is because there wasn't too much story. So like story-wise, the episode was like a 4. And then just Star Wars-wise, it was a 10. All these episodes are 10s in Star Wars. Maybe except The Passenger, but all of them are like Star Wars 10s. Just in getting Star Wars content. And in the contrary, though, the story of this specific story, there wasn't really developed too much in this episode. So that's kind of why I have it a little low. The Siege had more in it, with the talk about Baby Yoda and then cloning. Honestly, going back to it, I want to rank the Siege higher. Screw it, I can do that. It's my own ranking. I can do whatever the heck I want. I'm going to give this Siege like an 8.2. Just going back and thinking about all the possibilities that were just introduced because of that episode. I don't think I was as hype about that, just because following up the heiress, I was just a little disappointed about it because it wasn't all like flashy, like Mandalorians. The episode wasn't throwing Mandalorians at us. And then the Jedi happened, which obviously is going to look so much better than the Siege because it has Ahsoka and introduces Ahsoka, and then her being introduced into Grogu, then sending them to the Scene Zone where episode 14 or chapter 14 happens, and then Grogu gets taken. So, I think I needed to give Siege a little bit more credit there. So I think that's reasonable. But boy, oh boy, is next week going to be insane. I'm hoping it's the best Star Wars we see this season. Because there's been a lot of good Star Wars. But I feel like the finale always needs to be the best episode. The finale or the penultimate episode of a season of anything need to be the best episode of the season. Obviously, there could just be really awesome episodes in the middle. Like, for example, the likelihood of it being better or me ranking it better than the Jedi and the Tragedy are pretty low. But with all the tension and build-up that's going to this episode, I think it's possible. That's it. That's it for today. Next week's going to be insane, and it's also the last episode, which is crazy to think. Crazy to think. These 8 weeks are going by super fast. And with all the stuff that was announced yesterday from Ahsoka, which is a limited series, but it's going to be great. Bad Batch, which looks so good. It looks so good. The trailer showing Palpatine and his speech being like kind of broadcasted to all the clone troopers. That's going to be an amazing show. Basically Clone Wars 2, right? Because a few of the same characters from the last season, plus the same art style, which it just looked beautiful. Anyway, that's a whole nother can of worms that I shouldn't get into, but Star Wars in the next 5 years is going to be amazing. And it all started with this show and kind of even this season with the introduction of Ahsoka and Bo-Katan and Boba. No Boba show announced, but I think it's kind of insane if they don't do a Boba show now. I'm just a teeny tiny streamer for a reason, and those people are making those big executive decisions for a reason. So I feel like with all the hype and excitement they've been getting from this season of Mando, they're going to be taking a good foot forward, taking a good step forward, and they know what they're doing now. I don't think the sequel trilogy they really did, but they do now. Anywho, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you for the next episode of Mando. Wow, wow, wow.